this is not one person's idea. It was my ranting one night that gave us an outline for what we needed to do, but that didn't matter. I mean, then it's no longer my possession. It's all of us. And I mean, if you're going to have a successful group, it has to be that way. And none of us, oddly, have egos that battle each other. It's really,
not at all.
Isn't it strange?
It's really strange, actually.
I think we all respect each other. I mean, because we all, if somebody says they're going to do something, they get it done.
And I think there's a genuine like as well.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, I mean, it's, even coming up here, I can honestly say it was about the quickest 3.5-hour drive I've ever made in my entire life.
That was pretty fast, right?
Yeah, it was really pleasant.
And I'm glad that you guys made the trip. I really am.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the mixers. I went to one of the first ones I think you guys had. That was in San Francisco, which I thought was very interesting. A lot of trading cards going on, a lot of introductions. It's kind of like the open house, if you will. You put as much time as you want to, or leave pretty quickly if you want to. One, how did that idea come to be? And two, what did you want to get out of anybody who went to a mixer, and are you going to be doing more of them?
Oh gosh, we're going to do tons of them. It's part of our direction. Every month we're doing a mixer. They're getting more and more specialized, where we're going to kind of honor different people within the group, different skill sets. And no, it's crucial. If you want to be successful, you have to be collaborative. You have to meet people that know what they're doing. Like we were talking about sound. Unless you talk to somebody that really understands sounds and knows sound, how do you know that you need it? You know, as a director, you're like, no, it's all about the look, and the sound guys, no, it's all about the sound. The producer's like, it's all about the money. And so somewhere, if you're all talking together and collaborating together and working on projects together, you're going to get a better project out of it. So mixers are incredibly important.
And that's one of the biggest things, is making sure that I think a lot of filmmakers really have in their head that they need to do this all by themselves. And they have to learn to let go a little bit and trust. And you can't be writer, director, producer. It's not going to work for you. You're not going to get, number one, as Alan was pointing about another project that we were discussing off camera, you're going to end up spending more money if you don't have the right producer. You're going to take away from what you can do as a director. Most likely, you're probably going to need someone to help you with the collaboration, sound, and everything. So this concept that you can do this in a bubble without help is really an odd one for filmmakers to take. And it seems like in the Bay Area, more than elsewhere, they really hold on to their ideas and love their uniqueness to a point where it's almost detrimental to their success.
Agreed. Well said.
I've always said the fact that, as I mentioned earlier off camera, the fact that in order to have a better sense of appreciation, especially as a filmmaker, you really need to watch other people and other films. Along with that, I would also say too that even as a director, I would really push people never to edit your own stuff, because you become too married to it and you're not objective about what can stay in and what can stay out. As well as it's good to have people who are collaborative, and for you not to feel that you're in control of that collaboration.
Right.
You need to have everybody putting their best strengths forward, and you putting on that learning hat and saying, you know, it's time for me to shut up and just kind of listen. Because I think sometimes it's my movie, I know what I'm doing, I know how I want it to turn out. You know what, everybody wants the best product, okay? It may be your movie, but as we were talking about earlier too, everybody has a certain level of reputation on the line.
Yeah.
If their name is going to be on that end scroll, they want to make sure that, you know, that they're being treated right in the process of it.
That's the truth.
What have you learned? Have you had the experience yet through having the group of, I know people are posting shorts, of seeing really potential, and as opposed to people that, you know what, they might want to keep on going back to the drawing board on this and doing something more with it?
Yeah, I think we have experienced that to some degree. I think, though, it's just different levels of development in their ideas. Some people just have a very raw idea. It's a good idea, and then they try to develop it, and it develops the wrong direction. And so, yeah, it's going back to the drawing board, but I don't think that really is related to experience. You can have tons of experience, and you think you have this great idea. You wake up the next day, you're like, what was I thinking? I can't believe I just pitched that to somebody. But, you know, these things will happen. But yeah, we have people of all different levels in the group, and what's exciting is when you saw people exchanging business cards, they were exchanging business cards just not so they could keep in touch, but there was business being done. I've got one project from that mixer alone that I'm getting involved in, a film project that I got involved with, and it was through the beginnings of this that he and I started working on a couple of projects together. So there's actually we have pokers in the fire now that are doing really well, all based from this this experience with UFA, which is interesting.
And one of the interesting things about that mix in particular, we actually had a woman fly clear out from Florida, and we ended up getting her headshots taken for her after the next day before she flew back. So it was a really successful mix, and we're hoping the last one, the most successful things that came out of that were a few love connections.
Oh,
gosh, it was awesome. It was awesome.
So, which is great too. But next one, hopefully, we'll have even more professional stuff.
Well, let's talk about your next one. When is that happening?
July 17th. So it's happening
Saturday.
a week from tomorrow. Same place, Beale Street Bar.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's the objective out of this mixer?
Improv.
Presentation-wise and whatnot.
Improv, acting talent being discovered. We should have some representation from JE talent there. So any actors that are going to be in the Bay Area, it's definitely worth attending.
Oh gosh, yeah, yeah. It's getting access to agents and everything else. And this is the other thing when we talked about the Pay It Forward movement, and I'll try to make it brief. I know we're going to run out of time at some point. Is you are what? How many steps away from every person on Earth you can get to? And the closer you can get them, as we discussed, the more likely you are to be able to approach them. They're going to be able to help you. They're going to help you get to that next level in your career. For actors out there, their biggest struggle sometimes is finding an agent or knowing when the right time to get an agent is. Well, they're one step away. If they come to the UFA, we have every top agency in San Francisco are members. Some of the top managers in Los Angeles, some of the best in the biz, are members of the United Filmmakers Association. They are now one step away from these folks.
So you can send this in to them and they can tell me how bad this was.
But, yeah, right?
And some of the other opportunities that and why people really need to get on the website and be involved, we threw up a video challenge. A friend of mine has a music library named Phil Bright. He did all the music for a Danny DeVito movie called Housebroken. And the producer was kind enough to say they were doing their DVD release and they're releasing the soundtrack and said, make a video out of any song on the soundtrack. And then the producer was actually going to review it and give critique or whatever. We got one response, and it was from a guy in Seville, Spain, nicest guy. But I was really surprised that more people didn't jump on that opportunity.
Sure.
And so we need to, I think a part of it is awareness. So people need to be aware. You've got to be on the site. You've got to be involved to take advantage of these things. There's no charge to you. There's absolutely nothing. It's one of the few times in life where I can look you straight in the eye and say, there's absolutely nothing you have to lose by being involved. Nothing. It won't cost you a dime. All you got to do is be active and want to participate.
We had we did a Skype interview about a week or two with a screenwriter who just sold a pitch to Paramount, and they're going to be developing the script. But they've been actively doing this for about the past 10 years. They've had an agent and all that, and their time has come, I guess, if you might say. Their time at the plate is ready. And one of the things that he emphasized is the fact that I think a lot of people just take this for granted, is that one is be really aware of your opportunities. Don't be blindsided to them because they're going to come in a lot of different directions. But the second is not only to take advantage of it, but be prepared for that opportunity. There's nothing wasted than you guys doing all this setup, having people, and it's the deer in the headlights. What do I do next?
Right, yeah.
I think you have to do your homework. You have to know what you're up against. It's a very competitive field. Don't ever think that it's not, because it is. And it grows increasingly every single day with the web and everybody wanting to put something out. So kudos to you guys for joining forces, the superheroes, if you will, of the concept of paying it forward and bringing opportunities to people that might otherwise find it very difficult to do that, and to jump on this.
Well, and I think our approach has been a little bit to try to take the competitive aspect out of it and look at it more as this is a place you can come and collaborate and create, rather than anyone saying, okay, here's your award at the end of it. Your award is simply by meeting and creating and becoming a better artist at whatever your skill is, or a better craftsman or whatever your craft is, or a better businessman at whatever your particular business that you're involved with is.